Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as US President Biden, both emphasizing that their ties have reached new heights, while Prime Minister of India said that the dynamics between the two nations has changed. It is not just a buyer-seller equation anymore. There is co-development that is happening. There is technology transfer that is happening, which is what takes the ties between the two countries to another level. When the US president spoke, he said that India has helped generate a lot of jobs, around 1 million jobs in the US, with their ties with the trade that they have given to Boeing. The Air India, remember, has placed a contract with Boeing for purchase of aircraft. Dr. Walter Lodwick, a political scientist from King's College London, is joining me. Sir, what do you make of the announcements that have been made at the press conference?
Well, I think it's tremendous, and it really cements where the U.S.-India relationship has gone and is going. And it's from a position of strength to strength. It shows the deep levels of trust that exist between the two sides. What I found most tantalizing was the Prime Minister's comment about a new beginning on trade, because that has always been one of the big obstacles between the U.S. and India. Although the U.S. is India's largest trading partner, there's a long-held belief that that potential is significantly underweighted and that there's a lot of untapped potential between the two countries. So I'd like to find out more about those details, but if that is true, it would be very, very exciting.
Right. Kriti Upadhyaya, you are the founder of Indus Tech Council. You are already looking at deepening and strengthening of ties and how it could benefit both countries. And now, we heard both the leaders saying that this is going to be a new era in Indo-US relationship. How do you think that would be defined?
Absolutely. Firstly, thank you for having me here. I think, beyond this visit is so critical, because beyond the pomp and show, there's such solid deliverables. And I think although the building blocks of this relationship, especially the defense tech relationship, were laid down, almost a decade back, that's how we got from literally no bilateral defense trade to now more than 20 billion pipeline. I think today there is strong strategic and commercial convergence. Strategically, we have common challenges. China is bringing us together, but also commercially, we understand this is really a win-win partnership.
Right. That is the takeaway that has been the general sense of situation here, win-win partnership. But Madhav, one very important question that was posed to the Prime Minister as well as the President at that press conference was about how human rights are being dealt with in India. This comes, of course, in the backdrop of 75 lawmakers writing to the President earlier before Prime Minister's visit about their allegations on the same. What do you make of Prime Minister's response to that?
Well, it's very interesting, Priya, because in his opening statement, President Joe Biden also mentioned religious tolerance as a hallmark of democracy. And clearly, of course, during the course of that press conference, when that question came to him, he did answer saying that fundamental reasons that there is a difference between the US-China relationship and the US-India relationship is that both US and India are democracies. They have to be open, tolerant, and robust. That's what President Joe Biden said. When the question was later posed to Prime Minister Modi, he said that I'm surprised you're raising this question about India and whether it is a democracy, because as President Biden said, democracy is in our spirit and in our veins. Our ancestors have put it in our constitutions, and our country runs on the basis of our constitution. Whether it is discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, religion, gender, there is no place that any such discrimination has. We talk about humanity, human rights. It's just not possible without the framework of a democracy, and therefore there's no question of any kind of discrimination. Also goes on to say that the motto of the government is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas, and also says that whatever benefits are there as part of the government of India, the access is there to all, and that's why there is absolutely no question of any differentiation in India. It's a very strongly worded response or rebuttal of the Prime Minister, perhaps the first time he's taken this entire issue head-on, because we do know how there are, in fact, congressmen and senators who have written out on this particular issue, and there are several of them was supposed to actually go ahead and boycott that joint session as well. Ahead of that, the Prime Minister himself responding during the course of the press conference is certainly very significant, and we will have to see what the response is domestically here in India as well, because this is a claim that has been made time and again by various leaders of the opposition.
And there couldn't have been a bigger platform to present that counter. In fact, in supporting his argument, he quoted Joe Biden himself, who has on more than one occasion said, India has proved that democracies can deliver, and Prime Minister made it sure that he emphasized on the fact that where there is a democracy, there cannot be discrimination, and that is also the case with India. We will continue